We're standing in the wine cellar. It's wine cellar is based on traditional winemaking, and we're going to taste some nice wines in the cellar and of the vintage 2010.
Yes, at the moment it's 2010, which is in aging, as we put in bottle in June and July the 2009. So the whole 10 is in aging, a part in food, a part in tank, a part in barrels. So today we will compare two different 100 years old vines Grenache. One which is on a mix of sand and clay, and one which is on full sand.
Okay.
And we will see difference of exposition and different of soil, which are directly doing the texture of the wine and the deepness.
Okay, and what do we have in the glass right now?
So now we have a palastro, which is a blocks which is in north orientation, sun shining, so relate mature blocks. It's a blocks really reveal itself with aging. Quite wild fruit, I can call it, because it's really authentic and traditional Grenache. And after it's really the fruit, the roundness, and a lot of velvety.
Okay.
So representative of the clay.
What's the age of the vines? So this,
they've got more than 100.
Okay. Wow, very intense on the palate. Is this typical for 2010? To good complexity and balance?
Yes, 2010 makes two different things, a lot of fruit, a lot of roundness, but a lot of acidity and attention. So you have quite all in this vintage. I mean, the exuberancy, the fruit, but also the tension, the freshness and the acidity. Okay. So it's I really like this vintage because I think the full vintage on all these aspects.
Interesting.
Okay.
So next will be.
Next we will take a sandy soil, just sand that I will pick.
Okay.
And we find a high comeback.
Okay. He's a bit slow. He actually he just finished. He finished the harvest, so you do not blame him that he's too slow right now. So, but you know, you will see. He will do his job very well. Do you need help? Do you need a hand?
No, I can arrive.
Yeah?
Yeah, I will arrive.
Okay.
No worries, mate.
As you can hear, the cellar is temperature controlled. 70 degrees. What's the temperature in the cellar?
It will be less than 18 degrees Celsius in summer. Yeah, Grenache is really fragile grapes, so you cannot go in high temperature because it accelerates oxidation. And, you need to be really gentle with the Grenache and to really protect about the high temperature. And also when you drink it, you need to drink maximum is 18 degrees, better between 16 17 degrees, after depending on your palate. So now we tasted also the Grenache, so in sandy soil.
So you will dark color, right?
Yes, it's several years that we have really dark Grenache. Grenache is not a grape which is famous for its color. So there is really low tannin and not a big intensity in the color. But when it's well ripe, and when you don't have a lot of yield, you can have also great color.
Okay.
the aging. Wow.
Plenty of red cherry and licorice, creamy licorice, spiciness.
A lot of flower also. This one was funny at the start. It was really white flower and a bit of like in white wine.
Okay.
So the first year that it appears to me, this taste and these things around the white flower, and after the texture is really silky here. You don't have this velvety of the one before, and it's tiny like a perfume.
Interesting. Will be very interesting for, I think, for the viewers as well. Maybe we can have a look at the video.
You can go there.
Yeah. Here we are in the vineyard of the Pure. It's in the somewhat northern eastern part of the appellation.
Yes,
the middle.
Quite northeast. We can see the castle, which is just under us. We are at the border between Chateauneuf and Courthézon. Here we are in Courthézon. At 10 meters we are in Chateauneuf. The blocks got 25%, 20% in Courthézon and 80% in Chateauneuf.
Okay.
Here we are in Courthézon.
So it's good to know for the people who are viewing the video that actually Courthézon is the commune. Courthézon is also part of the appellation of Chateauneuf.
Yes, exactly. It's a village situated at the east of Chateauneuf, and in Courthézon, several blocks of Chateauneuf are depending of the commune of the village of Courthézon.
Okay.
Which is with Courthézon, Bédaride, Sorgues and Orange, which are the other village where you can produce some Chateauneuf.
That's great. We are among very old vines here, eh?
Yeah, so here we are on the blocks of Grand Pierre, here we are in the Pointu, here we are on the Grand Pierre, and here we are on the Rayas. So we are at the border of 3 different districts. It's not representative of Grand Pierre, it's not representative of Pointu, it's not representative of Rayas, it's at its own identity.
Okay, well, what really strikes me is that I do not see any stones here.
No, here it's quite funny as it's sandy soil, but on the top of the mountain. Normally the sand is going on the back of the mountain. Here you are on the top, and it's just sandy soil.
Okay.
So it's, and we are at 115 meters, so we are at one of the highest points of Chateauneuf.
Okay, but because it's interesting, the soil. Do you think that the characteristics of your pure wine, because the pure is coming from this vineyard, is coming from the soil and the old vines, but are there more things involved?
It's all these different things who do it. It's all vines. After we say it's 100% Grenache, what is not true, as it's complanted. I mean, you can see on the back, you can see there's a white grapes, there's some pink grapes, there's some Terre Noire, there's some Clairette, there's some different other grapes, but more than 95% of the blocks is Grenache.
Okay.
But the all the wine growers used to complantate all the Grenache blocks because they didn't have any Syrah blocks or any Mourvèdre blocks. They just have Grenache where they were making a complantation.
Okay, interesting.
And that's what that adds some complexity, as you've got plenty of grapes in the same blend.
Okay, because the first vintage for you for the Pure was 2004?
Yes, the first vintage for Pure was 2002, but I decided not to bottle because 2002 was quite a difficult year, as we took in one day what we took normally in 1 year for precipitation. And for me it was my start, so I didn't want to start with a vintage like this. But I did some, and I have some bottle of O2 in my cellar, which is drinking really nicely in the moment, and which was good, but not enough good to start with.
Okay.
And so I start to work these blocks by his own in 2004. First years we did some Pure.
Okay. So you have in a row at 2004, 5, 6, 7, and you skip 08?
Yeah, wait, I preferred to blend, to have just one wines and one really great wines. And I didn't have enough juice for pure, to do pure. I bought a tiny bit for myself of 08.
Okay.
And but it's the only vintage where I haven't produced any.
Okay, because that's important for the people who are looking at that you produce next to the pure. Of course, you have your signature, your traditional base.
My focus is really on signature, as it's a blend. What is great in Chateauneuf is you can blend different blocks, different type of soil, different grapes variety, and you're trying to think the identity of every different blocks in the final blend. And so you try to make some complex things with different different blocks and different personality of blocks.
Okay, and next to the signature, you produce a Fiancée.
Yeah, sometimes I produce Fiancée, which is a blend of Syrah and Grenache, old vines Grenache with younger Syrah, but old for Syrah. 25 years is old for Syrah. It's really young for Grenache, but old for Syrah. And Fiancée produced just some years when I think it's.
You think
I like it
because sometimes wine critics they say Syrah is not doing well because in the southern part because it's getting too much sun and.
Yeah, after you don't have to grow Syrah in our place on a south orientation, on really hot soil. You need to plant it on a colder soil to have some freshness.
Okay.
Acidity is really low for Syrah in our area, but if you can get if you can get a great freshness, you can have a really balanced Syrah and really nice to drink.
Okay. Sounds interesting. So you brought a wine. If you see, it's a great view here, and if you to the left and straight, the chateau, and if you go here to the left, you have the Vaudieu, and
yes, you can see on the tree it's Lacroix. You can see the tree here, it's Rayas. Under us, we can see the Ventoux, and if we turn, we can see the castle. So we are tiny bit around there, and the middle of the appellation.
Yeah.
So we will taste the new vintage, which is bottle. It's pure 2009, and yeah, Harry, you can grab it.
There we see.
Yeah, take care, Harry.
Oh, ships. Oh, thank you.
No worries, mate.
Oh my gosh. Almost you had some pure on your pure thrower.
We don't put any water in the soil, but some wine.
Okay, so I better hold the bottle. So for the people, I think some of the wine lovers, and especially the older wine lovers who like traditional style of wines, they complain about these wines are too high in alcohol and too fruity.
But too fruity, if you got freshness, it's never can be a problem. After an alcoholic wine is not a good wine for sure. The important is to find the balance. For example, if we pick our Grenache at 14, they will be alcoholic because the fruit is not there, the tannins are not there, the matière, I don't know the translation of matière, is not there, so you don't have a great balance. If you pick at 2 degrees more, you will have the fruit and the quality of the tannin to make the balance. It's not just a question of alcohol and acidity. A lot of people are referring of a balance of a wine, comparing the quotient between alcohol and acidity. Us, we prefer to compare concentration in sugar, so the alcohol, with the fruit and also with the freshness. And freshness is not just a question of acidity. You can have something fresh with 3.8, 3.9 of pH. And you can have something pasty at 3.7 or 3.6 of pH. So there's a lot of different elements in the wines which is doing the balance. We are analyzing a tiny bit, but we are really far away to analyze everything. That's why it can be unbalanced on the paper, but the important is to be balanced in your mouth.
Okay, because it's actually, I know the pure for right from the beginning, and some people say, oh, it's over extracted and it's manipulated, and I know that it's a quite traditional way of winemaking.
Pure cannot be more traditional. As first of all, the important in the tradition is to work your soil naturally. If you can see some grass on the soil here, and we don't put any product to kill the grass. We just work the soil. We are not putting any chemical product in the soil. But after in the cellar, that's important. We are not biologic, because in the cellar we are not putting also any product, no tannin, no yeast, no enzyme, just grapes. And in pure, when we have the chance to have a ripe stem, we put the stem on. So it's really the blocks which is putting straight in the cellar. And after, for the vinification, it's just pumping over, smooth extraction technique. The Grenache don't need to have an over extraction to give what he's got. The skin liberates really well his tannin and all what she gets. And so you don't need to be to plunge a lot or to do a lot of extraction to get what it got.
So for
and he will not give you more than what he have, you know.
As for you, it's easy winemaking.
Yes, it cannot be more easy. Winemaking is easy. It's vine culture which is hard.
Okay, let's taste the wine. What can you tell about the 09 vintage in general? Was it difficult?
No, 09 was not difficult. As soon as you arrive to have a ripe stem, it's not a difficult vintage. The day when you cannot arrive to, it's really a difficult vintage. If you have to put the grapes on the floor, it's a really difficult vintage.
Because we're sitting here right now in September, what's today, 24th?
Yeah, we are
20. And you still, most part of Chateauneuf harvested? And
yeah, a lot of blocks are harvested yet, a lot of others are standing, depending where you are situated and how you work on your soil. Us, we are at the middle of the harvest, so we harvested all our Syrah, all our Cinsault, a tiny bit of Grenache. We did yesterday the Mourvèdre, which are this year arriving in maturity really early for our blocks of Mourvèdre, and we have still half of the Grenache in the vineyard that we will pick next week, and perhaps the weeks after, we will see.
Okay. So now I give back to the vines.
Me, I give back to my body.
For the next step, I will follow as well. I think it's very good, and that's amazing. What's in the name? It's pure, and always when I taste the wine, I have to think about how pure this wine is.
Taste the new vintage, 2011.
Okay. Can you smell? I will try to remember. And next year, when I come back, I compare it with your wine. Thank you very much, Julien. It's really a privilege sitting here with you.
Happy to receive you.
Vineyard in Chateauneuf-du-Pape. And I would say, whenever you have a chance, try to find a bottle of Barroche, because it's not just a pure. It's just one of the wines. In general, it's high quality winemaking from a very passionate winemaker.
Cheers. Cheers.